You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to the Cult Movie Cantina.
Woo!
Woohoo! Actually, hold on. We can do this right. Welcome to the Cult Movie Cantina.
Woo! Yeah!
We have applause. We have applause. So
Everybody
good.
calm down now. We got to do an intro.
That's awesome.
I'll talk about the new thing in a minute. I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always,
Your facilitator of fun and lady of libations, Stephanie.
Justina, your angelical jester.
She who knows no movies.
This is the podcast that takes a look at your favorite cult films, and we introduce them. We introduce an alcohol beverage to it.
Woo, that's me.
I'm all over.
You've been warned.
And we show it to someone who's never seen them before.
Me, hello.
And then we talk about it. I'm all out of order today.
You are just, it's okay.
This week we looked at the 1984 literally cult classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Fundamentally changes how horror films were done in the 80s. That's how important this film is.
Yeah.
I just want to point out for everybody confused, yes, it was the first one and not the fourth one. Like, I also had to make sure it was the first one. I checked a couple of times to make sure he wasn't making me watch
Make sure
the
something
third
out
or
of
fourth
order.
or fifth one. We did watch the first one, the original first one.
Yeah, I know. You know what the next one we're going to watch?
The fifth one?
The third one.
Okay, cool.
You
know what? We started at the
Is that
beginning,
Dream
Scotty.
Warriors?
Yeah, and the reason why is because Dream Warriors is a more direct sequel to the first one than the actual
I like
sequel.
Dream Warriors, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So there's familiar characters in the third one that you know in the first one,
Okay.
and so that are not in the second one.
It was such a thing, though, that even Derby Wife was like, the first one? I believe so. I'm not. He just said he was doing research the other day. Let me see which one he put on there.
Okay, I have to confess, I actually had to ask again and double check to make sure it was the first one. I'm not going to lie. I'm so used to us doing things out of order.
Well, because it's kind of my hobby. I don't know. Just,
We were all like, oh, well, I'll be. All right.
for our live show at Horror Raw, trust me, we'll be doing something out of order anyway. So that's all.
What are we doing for that one?
We're doing Phantasm 2.
That's right, I
And
forgot
the
about
reason why we're doing Phantasm 2 is because it's the best out of the series, and you don't need to see the first one.
Okay, that sounds like a basketball movie. Is it a basketball movie?
Phantasm? Sounds like a basketball movie?
Yeah.
We'll think about that for a little bit. We'll talk about that later
Very horrific.
in the show. Before we move on to the movie, I just want to shout out that we have new equipment.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
I like that you moved the computer to look at it.
Yes, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So
Zoom.
So this is brand new. This from the Zoom Corporation. This is the PodTrack P4 digital recorder. It is specifically made for podcasters, and so it is pretty. I made a little extra money at the last convention, so
Thank you, supporters.
Thank you for supporters. We stuck it away. We actually buy equipment with it, so I bought this. It's literally brand new.
It is.
Is the prettiest
Freaking
thing we have in
awesome.
this
And
office
so,
right now.
and
I just took a picture of it,
and
so
if you could
we'll show you
remember how
guys.
much equipment we had before to do this, it's really now cords in this one machine. I love it. Anyway,
all because of you supporters. Thank you so much.
Help the dream stay alive.
we are going to be at Horror Raw this Saturday.
I'm so flippin' excited about Horror Raw because I actually have a costume and I've got my friends from the Explorium coming.
It's gonna
be great.
It's going to be here at Gamers and Geeks. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. There are all kinds of events. We are, like we mentioned, hosting a panel for Phantasm 2. I have prizes for that, including copies of the movie.
Do you know what time
Yay.
Our panel is at 2 p.m.
on Saturday?
Saturday.
Usually it's on Sunday.
So-
Or is it on Saturday during those?
So what if I have to work?
Well, then we'll have to figure something else out because that's what time they gave us.
Okay.
This year it's only one day.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
for some reason I thought it was a whole weekend.
Yeah, I did too, but first it is one day this year.
Okay.
This year, they're trying different things out.
That's fair. That's fair.
I probably won't have to work. I'll figure it out.
Sneeze like at 1. Be like, oh my goodness.
COVID.
You have no idea
goodness.
how that would be such a bad idea where I work right now.
All the surgeries and stuff she's had.
That's right. It's like, if I am out for another illness, they're
Sneeze
probably
like,
just going to be done.
What did we do? It's okay.
All right, so we watched A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. We're going to listen to the trailer now.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happen.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know. Tina! What's the coroner got to say?
He's in the John puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, written and directed by Wes Craven, who has done a ton of things, such as The Hills Have Eyes, the last House on the Left, Scream is his.
Wes Craven is like the horror
Shocker is
man,
here.
like he is,
He directed Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy.
which is
And
hilarious.
not Places in Our Music of the Heart with Meryl Streep, which is not about horror films, it's about violence.
So now, did he write these as well, or were these like pre-written comic books?
No,
or
he wrote most of these stuff.
Okay.
So he's sadly we lost him in 2015 or 2014.
One of those
One of
times.
those. All right, so I'm going by IMDb's listing of who's starring in this. So this is all in a crazy order.
Okay.
Who would you think would be the top billed person in this movie?
Johnny Depp, I would think.
Well, it says introducing.
Yeah,
so
they
he
didn't know-
would-
No, I meant like nowadays when you. Okay, let me justify that. When my IMDb is sorted by popularity.
Yeah,
So
which is a new
he
thing,
pops up.
which is
Yeah,
crazy.
So the top billing person would have been the girl who played Tina because she was also in the Highlander series. I would think.
Who do you think is the top one?
Okay, hold on. Let me.
This may be a new game we play.
There you go.
Okay, so I feel like it would have been the main girl, Nancy.
Nancy?
Nancy,
All right,
yeah, because
right.
she was the main girl.
Are you ready?
Starring
John Saxon as Lieutenant Thomas.
Oh, John Saxon is pretty. Yeah, I totally
Freddy
need.
Krueger. He would have been like pretty.
Oh, Robert Englund was pretty much a newbie too.
Yeah, Robert Englund was new in this too.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too in a minute. Renee Blakely as Marge Thomas, so the mother.
Oh, the mother. Yeah, that makes sense.
Heather Langenkamp as
Nancy.
She's third. Amanda Weiss as Tina's fourth.
Yeah.
Jesus Garcia as Rod Lane. He is credited as something another name because he was pretending to be Italian because no one would hire anybody Latino at the time.
Interesting.
Johnny Depp as Glenn.
I had to do like 30.
He was
He's
such a baby
face.
Like I was looking, I was like, "Where's Johnny Depp? Isn't he in this movie?"
He's so tiny.
He's right there. No, he's
And that little narrow booty. I mean, he's so little.
so little. He's so little. They send him out to fight things. So I'm like, what is he gonna do?
It was crazy.
He's so tiny.
And then, of course, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund, the only thing he was known for at the time was he was on a an NBC miniseries called V, where he played a lizard alien.
But he played such a sweet little
lizard alien. He was,
yeah, just a
So how
sweet
did
alien.
he get this role?
So
Do you know?
so originally,
His face probably is perfect. I mean,
Does he like? Is that pretty like natural for him?
not the burn, but the shape of his face is pretty.
So originally, Wes
interesting.
Craven wanted to hire. Originally, they were going to hire stuntmen because usually in horror films, horror film heavies are stuntmen. Jason's always a stuntman. Michael Myers is always a stuntman who plays him, not an
a
actor.
specific person.
But because this is different, they wanted an actor. So he started trying to cast someone older, much older. One of the people he tried to cast was David Warner, who is just a classic actor who's been in tons of things. Titanic. He was in Time After Time. He was in. We know him. Me and Steph know him from Star Trek.
Yep.
And he's in John Carpenter's in the Math of Madness. He's been like
he'd be good too.
He's British and he's been in like 90 movies. He's one of those guys. And, and typically genre films, science fiction or horror. I think he's in The Omen. He's in all kinds of stuff. But and Warner was going to do it, and then there was a scheduling conflict apparently, and no one was really clear on that, and so they decided to cast younger, and Robert Englund came up and they looked at him and was like, oh, he could be good, and then they realized in his audition that he would be perfect, and so he got the gig.
All right.
So
Well, how do you think that would make you feel as a person if they look at you and they're like, oh, I can see you looking all scarred up and evil and creepy and nasty. Let's do this.
I think that if I was auditioning for the part, it would make me very happy.
Right. But I mean,
It's like, yes.
Someone would be like, you'd be perfect for it. It's like, they picked you.
So
oh my gosh.
and this is not my trivia, so I mean, since we're just playing around, where do you think the idea for Freddy's makeup came from?
For his burns and stuff?
Yeah, for his burns and stuff.
The idea, a pizza.
Yes, a pizza.
He does look like a pizza.
The special effects guy who created the makeup effects artist, was having pizza and looked at the pepperoni pizza and started to rearrange the pizza and created Freddy's face first in a pizza.
Word.
Right?
I think that's pretty awesome.
How
Is
crazy
that
is...
where Pizza Face, the insult came from?
I think that's more for zits.
Yeah, that's a zit
But it
thing.
looks like you could have like those same like
No,
scars,
we
those
were
same
saying
caved-in
saying
scars.
pizza face long before Freddy Krueger.
I don't know. I wasn't around then. I just assumed my generation came up with it. Just kidding. No, we didn't.
You guys
Things
ready?
have always been around.
You guys ready to jump into this?
Yes, let's do it. Preach it.
First.
Brothers and sisters gather around. We meet Tina Gray as she awakens from a nightmare where she's attacked by a disfigured man wearing a blade-fixed glove in a boiler room. Her mother points out a mysterious slashes on her nightgown.
Clip your nails. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, don't have nightmares.
Don't
So
have
pick
to.
one.
Yeah, pick one. You get one or the other. The following morning, Tina, consoled by her best friend Nancy, and her boyfriend, Glenn, Nancy's boyfriend Glenn, the two stay at Tina's house, which I love because they were like, it's so cool you got to like Glenn to stay over, and he's like, no, that's not how it's happening. I'm supposed to be staying with my uncle, and he's at the airport, and he's got the tape.
Yeah.
Where he's playing the airport sound, so that goes away. The two stay at Tina's house when Tina's mother goes out of town, but the sleepover is interrupted by Tina's boyfriend, Rod.
I did not know that was her boyfriend, to be clear, from the beginning of the movie. And then he shows up and it's like, oh, it's her boyfriend. I'm like, no. No.
Yeah, it was totally her boyfriend.
I don't like the way he treats her. She's like,
Tina's kind of a slut.
apparently.
Kinda. When Tina falls asleep, she dreams being chased by a disfigured man. Rod is awakened by Tina's thrashing and sees her dragged and fatally slashed by unseen force, forcing him to flee. Literally, she is slashed about the room. She's up the wall or on the ceiling and
Yeah.
covered in blood. And
Like, that seemed a little bit too much, Freddie. Like, we got to put her on the ceiling to do it. You weren't doing a good job on the bed. I feel like they can't see him anyway. Might as well just put her on the ceiling. Let's do it. Just go up and down the walls. It's fine.
I think they were just trying to make a point.
That's right.
Let's see. Forcing Rod to flee as Nancy and Glenn awaken to find Tina's bloody and dead. So then it goes to like Nancy's actually handling it pretty well. Just sitting and chilling in the the police station where her dad works.
She has the right to be upset, though. Because her best friend just died.
Right, I think she's handling it well.
There's a lot less emotion about some of these deaths than I would have thought.
Right. Look. Either one of you murdered, I'm going to show more emotion than Nancy shows.
Just like regular murder, but then murdered where like there's literally blood on every wall and the ceiling.
I mean, she's really not that. I mean, she's not as
same nightmare.
I like how she goes like regular murder.
Like regular murder, not Freddy murder.
Your body's just on the ground murdered, and then your body's on the ground, and pieces of you are all over the room murdered.
What I crack up at is both of her parents are trying to get her to stay home from school. My parents would not. They wouldn't have had to try hard to get me to stay home from school.
No.
I would have been like, "Oh, I have permission to stay home from school. All right." I mean, it's like the parents are more upset than Nancy is.
Yes, she's just like. And she's defending Rod because she's like, he didn't do this, and they're like, your friend was murdered. He totally did this. She goes, I know, Mom, my friend was murdered.
Yeah, I know my friend was murdered. Thank you very much, Mom.
I was there.
Go
put some more vodka in your coffee.
Of the year. The next day, Rod is arrested by Nancy's father, Lieutenant Don Thomas.
Used her as bait.
Of course he used her as bait. I would too. Despite his pleas of innocence, at school, Nancy falls asleep in class and dreams that the man who calls himself Freddy chases her to the boiler room. There's lots of boiler rooms in this movie, where she's cornered and burned and burns her arm on a pipe.
To wake up.
Yeah, the burn startles her awake in class, and she notices the burn mark on her arm. Nancy goes to Rod at the police station. I want to talk about that for a second. They just let her in to talk to Rod.
Oh, yeah, her dad. Like, Rod.
Right. I'm like, I don't know how that even happens. It's just like.
Now, wait a minute. In a small town, when my father was a police officer in a small town, I hung out at the police station and went back to the cells. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that explains a lot, actually.
My dad used to tease me and lock me in those things every once in a while.
Again, also explains a lot about you.
I'm not going to let you out.
Okay, bye.
It's where.
She went to see Rod.
Yeah, she receives Rod at the police station, who tells her the details about what happened to Tina along with his own recent nightmares. This makes Nancy believe that Freddy is responsible for Tina's death. At home, Nancy falls asleep in the bathtub and is nearly drowned by Freddy.
Let's talk about that for 1 second.
Sure.
Did anybody else think that the part where you see the camera's facing her and her legs are spread and Freddy's hand comes up between them, did anybody else kind of feel that was erotic?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, oh,
that's what I'm saying. That was very sexual.
That was very purposeful as well. They built a tank and painted the bottom black to make it seem like it was bottomless. And Heather Langenkamp rested her knees on the stunt guy who was doing the claws. So he had it I was like waving claws like people could see me. Yeah. Did the claws. And it was like, it was like 8 hours of just her on top of me and I was doing the claws. So he had a good day. I'm saying he probably had a good day, is what I'm saying.
Probably so.
Nancy then depends on caffeine to stay awake, invites Glenn over to watch her as she sleeps. He is terrible at that, by the way.
Right away. Oh, my God.
Typical man.
Oh,
One thing, man. One thing.
In her dreams, Nancy sees Freddy prepared to kill Rod in the cell. He turns his attention toward her. Nancy runs away, wakes up when the alarm clock goes off. She yells at Glenn because he had one job. He just had one job.
One job.
And he went to sleep. Let's see. Nancy runs away and wakes up when her alarm clock goes off. Freddy kills Rod by wrapping bed sheets around his neck like a noose. Nancy, her father, and Glenn find his hanging body in the cells. And
hey, Rod didn't kill himself.
Making it look like Rod committed suicide.
Rod didn't kill himself. Much like Epstein.
Right. He
didn't kill himself.
Maybe Freddy got for Epstein. Maybe that's what happened. At Rod's funeral. And I want to talk about the funeral real quick. That priest at the funeral is a dick.
Yeah, he was.
So the first thing he says is that, basically saying Rod lived by the sword and he died by the sword. And then his next thing was, but yet let us not judge. Dude, you just judged. You just judged.
You totally judged.
It was like, you are a dick of a priest. Terrible priest.
I don't want that at my funeral. Okay,
I got you. All right,
as soon as they say that, be like, oh, I'm sorry. You have to leave now. Do we have anybody on standby? Can we get somebody else on standby?
I want my priest to be an older, drunken Irish priest to preside over my funeral.
Really noted.
Because I think that'd be awesome.
Maybe a Klingon for me.
Are you Irish?
I know where one's at. I'll tell you later.
You'll be dead, so it won't
No,
be
I'll tell you now,
okay.
so you'll know where to find them.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Nancy's parents become worried when she describes her dreams about Freddie. Her alcoholic mother, Marge, takes her to a sleep disorder clinic where in her dream, Nancy grabs Freddie's fedora with his name Fred Krueger written in it and pulls it from the dream into reality. I want to talk about that real quick, too.
Badass.
She is, but no one questions the fact that she pulled a hat from the dream world into reality. No one says...
There's several things
she
I'd
must
like
have
to
brought
pull,
that with her. And I'm like,
pull from the
no,
dream world.
You laid her down. No.
No.
I had a sexy dream about Norman Reedus the other night. That would have been fun to pull from the dream world. Just saying.
You can get his hat.
Well, okay.
So upon barricading the house by, she puts bars on everything, on the windows. Marge reveals to Nancy that Krueger was a sadistic child murderer released on a technicality and then burned alive by parents living on their street, seeking vigilante justice.
He can't hurt you, dear. Mommy killed him.
Well, so and I should have put this in the Apocrypha. I forgot, but and then I'm remembering it now. There are scenes that were cut that explains that Nancy had siblings who were murdered.
Oh, I didn't know that. I remember.
That's
And
why
I don't.
she's an alcoholic.
I don't know if it was in this movie or one of the other movies, but it seems like in one of the movies they had flashback scenes.
6. Freddy's Dead's got some of that stuff in there.
Okay.
There was a Freddy TV show. Do you may remember that?
I do not.
I know you don't because you were.
I thought you said everybody or anybody. I was like, I'm sorry, anybody else in this room?
Sorry.
Nope.
I do not remember the Freddy TV show.
So there was a Freddy TV show called Freddy's Nightmares, and it was kind of it was an anthology series where Freddy would screw with some random kid from Elm Street.
Okay.
And so the first episode I think was directed by Toby Hooper of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame. But they do Freddy's origin story.
Cool.
They do his trial. They do the whole thing. And
I wonder if that's what. Maybe I saw that because I remember seeing all of that.
Yeah, there's a trial. They have him like in a cage in the trial.
Maybe that's what I saw. Then.
If I can find the video, we'll watch it. It's actually probably the best episode of the series. And it was a weird series, but it ran for 2 or 3 years. And Chillers used to run it, but when that was.
So they explained in that.
Yeah, they explained. And so, like the guy the cop who neglected to sign the warrant correctly or whatever the technicality. It's all about him and like the guilt he's got. He's got twin daughters who go crazy, and it's crazy. It's great.
Huh.
So. Yeah, Marge reveals to Nancy that Krueger was a sadistic child murderer, released on technicality and then burned alive by parents living on their street seeking vigilante justice. Nancy realized that Krueger, now a vengeful ghost, desires revenge and to satiate his psychopathic needs. Nancy tries to call Glenn and warn him, but his father prevents her from speaking to him. Glenn falls asleep and is killed by Krueger by being sucked in the bed.
Wow.
So...
The bed that eats.
yes. Deathbed. I want to talk about that too. So it's a gruesome scene. He's Glenn is in bed and he falls asleep and basically he is sunk into the bed and then it just explodes in blood.
Yeah.
And then they just keep that. And so when the cops and stuff go in to go check things out, they're like, oh my God, he apparently was torn apart. And I don't know how they explain that.
No, because number one, that's more blood than what's in a human body.
There's lots of blood.
I'm just saying, like, it's like spewing forth like a freaking waterfall, which is a really cool effect because it's like flowing up instead of down, which I'm sure they just did it up, had it coming down and then flip the image or something.
So they used the So the Tina scene where Tina's being drugged around is a room they built on a gimbal and flipped the room. Yeah. And so they have the camera on the wall with the camera person, so the camera's always turning, but she's literally always on the floor.
Yeah.
And so she would roll it on the floor, and so she's never crawling up or.
They made the floor look like the ceiling and made the ceiling look like the floor.
Oh, the whole room is the whole room is, and so everything in the room was.
So they would turn the room?
Yeah, they would turn the room.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And so that's how. And so they used the same effect for Glenn's death. So
okay, they just flipped it.
They flipped. So they built a room and they flipped it, and then they poured red water. It's basically what the blood is.
Yeah,
red water. And the problem is that when the red water hit the lights, it electrified, and so it was shocking the guy who was pouring the water.
Oh shit!
Poor guy.
So that happened.
You live, you learn. You know, that's fine.
Now alone, Nancy Bowles puts Marge to sleep and asks Don, her dad, who's across the street investigating Glenn's death, to break into the house in 20 minutes. Let's talk about that too.
Right.
So Nancy's rigging booby traps around the house and her plan is to grab Krueger in the dream world and bring him in and have Dad arrest him.
Home Alone.
Which is the dumbest plan in the world. Okay, first of all, she says to come bust down the door in 20 minutes.
Why wouldn't she just leave the door unlocked?
Well,
she want Krueger to get out.
Well, no. Her mom has locked the door and has misplaced the key. Remember, locked.
Right, but didn't she? Okay, she called her dad.
Yeah, remember she's calling her dad who's across the street.
Right.
She calls Glenn's house to talk to him and tells, hey, and he's like, yeah, I'll nail the bastard or whatever. And then when she says it's Fred Krueger, he's like, just go to bed, baby. You're clearly having a break.
Yeah.
And my question is that she says to come wake her up in 20 minutes, but the problem is that it seems like to me it would take more than 20 minutes to set up her booby traps. Because they're elaborate. There's like,
they're pretty badass booby traps.
Right. So they're, the sledgehammer she's got to rig up. She's got to open all the cartridges of shotgun shells to make the light bulb explosion thing. She's got a line tripwire. And then she puts her mom to bed.
That's crazy.
That did happen.
Right. Then she puts her mom to bed. And then she gets... Right. And then she gets dressed to go to sleep, which all takes more than 20 minutes. Also, I did the research. Do you know how long it takes a person to enter dream, to the first dream?
Talking about REM sleep?
Yeah, REM sleep.
Well, you have to be in a really deep sleep, so...
I do, because you told me earlier, so did you?
90 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah, 90 minutes. You start dreaming in 90 minutes.
I'm trying to pull up my day from yesterday just to.
She's got her Fitbit, and so all I'm saying, Nancy, is you need more than 20 minutes to make this all work.
For reals. Let's see here.
She also doesn't want to die though, so it's like better safe than sorry.
But if he breaks down the door and wakes her up in 20 minutes, it doesn't do anything. She can't get to Krueger.
My stupid thing's not working right now. It'll take longer for this to download, but yes, it takes much longer.
So I thought that was funny. And this is where this movie gets really, really weird. So Nancy raises booby traps around the house and grabs Krueger out of the dream world into the real world.
Booby traps.
The booby traps affect Krueger enough that Nancy's able to light him on fire, lock him in a basement, and then rushes the door of the help. The police arrive to find that Krueger has escaped from the basement.
Of course he has.
Nancy and Don go upstairs to find a burning Krueger smothering Marge in her bedroom, and Don puts out the fire with a blanket. Krueger and Marge vanish into the bed. Which the cop shows up and like behind him and just slams the door.
And there's no burn marks on the bed, which is weird.
Well, I have explanations for all of this. Hold on a second.
Okay.
When Don leaves the room, Kruger rises from the bed behind Nancy. Nancy, realizing that Kruger is powered by the victim's fear, she calmly turns her back to him. Kruger evaporates when it attempts to lunge after her. Nancy steps outside into a bright and foggy morning where all her friends and her mother are still alive. Nancy gets into Glenn's Corvette to go to school, and then the top of the suddenly comes down and locks them in as the car drive uncontrollably down the street. Three girls in white dresses play jump rope singing the Kruger's nursery rhyme.
Wait. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab the crucifix. 7, 8. Better stay up late.
I was saying how many we like.
9, 10, never sleep again. That's right.
To sing the nursery rhyme, and Marge is grabbed by Kruger and dragged through the front door window. And the silliest effect I've ever seen in a movie.
This is ridiculous.
So, why isn't there burn marks on the bed? And here's the reason. All of that is supposed to be a dream.
All that's the dream?
All of that is the dream. The pulling Kruger in, all of that's the dream.
Okay.
And the reality is when she goes outside the door and gets in the car, Wes Craven originally wrote this with a happy ending. So there's no Kruger convertible. There's no...
like it's just like the end of the movie is like everything's fine.
The last shot in the movie is supposed to be the car pulls away and you see the girls doing the nursery rhyme and credits. And Robert Shea, who's the executive producer of... was like, we need something. We need something more. And the rumor is that he wanted sequel stuff, and he's like, he denies it. I think he totally wanted a sequel, like a loophole for a sequel.
Right.
But again, he didn't know if he's going to make any money in this or not, so it could go either way. And so there was a big fight, and there was they shot 4 or 5 endings, and they used a little bit of every one of them.
Okay.
To make that. And so it was kind of a compromise. Wes Craven didn't want it, but in the end, I think he's okay with it, especially with all the money he made.
Right. Yeah, looking back now, I'm sure he doesn't give 2 shits.
Right, yeah. So there's a really, really good documentary on YouTube called Never Sleep Again that covers the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Oh, cool.
And so I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street 1 version, part of it, actually this morning, just for extra stuff. And so there was some really cool insight in that.
Nice.
Let's do some Apocrypha before we do our drink.
Are you scared? Is that why?
I'm not scared. I'm never scared.
I know you're never scared.
I should be sometimes. It might help.
You should totally be scared.
I'm about a challenge man. Not a challenge man, but like a challenge comma man.
Yeah.
Commas are important. Or spaces. Make sure.
So Heather Langenkamp beat over 200 actresses for the role of Nancy.
Yeah.
Including Jennifer Grey, Demi Moore, Courtney Cox, Tracy Gold, and Claudia Wells.
But I have to wonder, does she...
It's back. Sorry, it came out.
I wonder if she regrets her decision to be in these movies, because that's basically all she's... I mean, she's done other stuff, but this is all she's really known for.
Been Nancy and she's been Nancy and Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
That's basic. She's been playing women named Nancy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So she got typecast big time.
But did this hurt her career to do other things, I wonder? Probably. I would. Yeah. I mean, again, she's been typecast and but she went into producing and stuff, so
that's cool.
Charlie Sheen, John Cusack, Brad Pitt, Kiefer Sutherland, Nicolas Cage, and C. Thomas Howell were all considered for the role of Glenn.
Aww. And baby Johnny Depp got it.
Baby got it.
Because it was Johnny Depp's first role, he didn't ask for a lot of money. Charlie Sheen wanted $3,000 a week, which
was a lot back then.
Was a lot back then, but they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
The budget on this film is super razor thin, no pun intended.
Where's that ba-doom-doom sound effect on your thing? Yes.
Number 4.
Number 4. Hold on.
Which one's 4?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to start randomly hitting that for funsies.
Ralph Macchio was considered for the part of Rod.
Really?
Yep.
Ralph Macchio's a tiny little... That's the Karate Kid. He's too tiny to have been Rod, and also not very masculine.
But originally, as written, Glenn was more of a football jock.
Okay.
And I think they wanted an Italian guy to be, like, hey, yo.
Can you imagine if it was C. Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio in this movie? It'd be like The Outsiders.
It would be The Outsiders.
The Nightmare on The Outsiders.
Roy Scheider, who was in Jaws, was considered to be the role of Nancy's dad, but turned it down because he was busy shooting 2010, which is a wonderful film.
There you go.
What's our libation?
All right. So, as you guys know, one of the fun things about figuring out a libation is I get to search the internet for really cool stuff. And I did not think anything would be out there for this movie, but I was wrong.
Were you wrong?
I just randomly Googled, let's Freddy Krueger drink. And there were several bartending websites, not just one, several that had the same recipe, which means it is an actual drink you can probably order from a bar because it's that well known, even though I didn't know it. But it's called the Freddy Krueger. And it has...
I'm excited.
Yeah. So it has 1/2 ounce of Jägermeister, 1/2 ounce of Sambuca, and 1/2 ounce of vodka. And you're about to find out. That's what I couldn't find. I went to 3 different liquor stores looking for that crap. So anyway, you just mix and shoot. So we're about to do that. You guys talk amongst yourself while I mix us a cocktail.
All right. So while she's mixing, we'll do some bar trivia. How about that?
Trivia.
Here's a game. What year does this movie take place in?
Oh, I want to say 79.
79?
83.
81.
Oh,
okay.
It was a mix between the two. We were almost there, Stephanie.
How many gallons of fake blood were used in the filming of this movie? In gallons?
25.
25 gallons?
37.
500.
Oh, God. We were so...
How much screen time does Freddy Krueger have?
20 minutes.
I'd say about 17 minutes.
7 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Goodness. I guess there's a... Does it count if you see his hand?
Yeah. That's still Freddy.
7 minutes, buddy. 7 minutes in heaven.
How many times is the words Elm Street said in the film?
76.
I don't remember it at all.
0.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that wasn't said at all.
I didn't remember it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So I just went with it's going to be a high number.
How many times was Tina's name mentioned in this movie?
Oh, Tina's was okay. 20. No, wait. I'm going to go with 76 for that one.
I will say 76 is a bit high. I'll give you that.
Okay, fine. 43.
She says 43 to 12. It was 39 times.
Oh, my Jesus.
Yeah. Because they were saying it a lot at the front where I was like, Tina. And she was like, my name wouldn't fit on that or something like that. I don't know. It was a lot in the beginning. And then, of course, Tina's death.
So, what kind of knives are on Freddy's gloves?
I would think they're just steak knives.
What kind? So you say steak knives?
Yeah, like steak knives. They look like steak knives.
They're, I don't know. I have no idea.
So, people think they are fishing knives or
like boning knives?
Yeah, or steak knives, and they're not. They're actually tomato knives.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's a thing.
Okay, hold on. One moment. I also went through my sleep, and it does look like I don't ever have REM sleep until after a certain amount of time, unless I'm having a nightmare. But it's still usually at least an hour into my sleep. So just so we're...
More than 20 minutes.
Yeah, more than 20 minutes for sure. Although I do think I can do all of her hijinks in 20 minutes. I feel like we can.
Well, no, all your hijinks and then fall asleep to find Freddy.
I mean, I fell asleep pretty quick, but like to get to REM sleep.
Right, it takes an hour.
But does it have to be REM sleep for Freddy to show up?
It's got.
Or does it just show up as soon as your eyes are
You
closed?
dream unless you're in REM sleep.
Right. His whole power is that he gets you into your dreams. So you have to be dreaming.
All right, guys.
Tomato knives look very similar to steak knives.
Pass that to her,
I feel like I
please.
get a half point for that. Let me move this baby blanket I'm crocheting out of the way just so that I don't.
I
get
know
any
she had an
alcohol.
art project on this episode.
Yeah, I kind of like. I got started and it's looking really pretty and I'm feeling really confident, and so I got my Crojo back, and so now I'm like, I gotta crochet. So
Crojo.
what do you want to do? I don't know, but we're crocheting, so it doesn't matter.
So I'm very excited about this because let me just say that
I'm afraid
my
just-
liquor cabinet has like grown since doing this podcast. I have the most random alcohol now.
I have like
at
a
home.
blueberry like liqueur or
But you
something
know
now.
that I love Jaeger, so I needed some more of that. I had this at
Yeah,
home.
we did Jaeger
And
shots last time we were together.
And then the Sambuca I didn't have, and that's what I had to
Okay,
find.
so what is that?
It's it's a liqueur from Italy that is made from
Italians.
anise. Is that how you pronounce it?
Anise?
Anise. Yeah, it's
Anise?
anise. Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
so
Did you try it by itself yet? I'm so curious.
not yet. I just cracked it open just now,
Okay.
so
I
we'll
wanna
try it in a
look
minute.
into it.
Okay, Prost.
I don't know what
Salute.
you said, but yes.
That was really good.
Oh, like
You know what that tastes like?
black licorice.
Yes, which is my favorite candy. That tastes like those little candies that my mama gets me for Christmas.
The terrible one.
That's the Jaeger.
No.
The Jaeger tastes like licorice, but that stuff's got to be like a strong black licorice flavor.
Yeah,
Hold on.
anise is a licorice.
I'll tell you.
Okay, I don't want it. I'll go get a Red Bull, and you and I can shoot some Jaeger and Red Bull.
Oh, that'd be good.
That would be
All
good.
right. Hold on. Here we go. Just the anise.
Oh my god, I didn't like that. There's like a drop left in mine. Anybody want it?
Okay, so that tastes just like black licorice candy because it's got that sweetness to
Right.
it, but the licorice.
Jennifer
That's
would like
amazing.
this. Too bad Derby wife isn't here.
Derby wife would love this.
She would love that.
Me too. That's gonna go in my freezer, and I'm gonna be drinking this like
Just
candy.
drinking it. Yeah, that's terrible. Enjoy.
I love it.
It was not bad. Yeah.
But it is just vodka, Jaeger, and Sambuca. So if you did several of those shots, you would probably be fucked up.
Yeah, I'm going to be having an interesting day anyway. Yay.
I'm sorry. You only had one.
Yeah, I know, but I'm such a lightweight.
My ears are burning.
He's already prepared. He's already like, okay, we need some bread.
If you had a soda, I would give you some vodka for it.
Oh man, I'll get something.
All
I
right.
like a drink.
There you go.
So Johnny Depp got the role because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy.
Aww.
Out of everyone that they
If
could
only
afford.
she knew that he would become very dreamy, and then very
Much more ruggedly dreamy.
well. He was very dreamy, and then he became skanky dreamy.
Skinky dreamy.
I think he just got to a point where he was like, I don't give two shits dreamy.
Well,
Like that kind of dreamy where he's like, I'm gonna live my life. Like the dude.
you have to understand
great.
he does drink a lot, and one of his best friends is Marilyn Manson. So
So yes.
there you go.
The little girl skipping rope was the daughter of the couple who home was used as Tina's house.
Oh, nice.
All right, you can use my house, but my daughter's gonna be in this creepy ass movie. Is all I'm saying right now.
There you
Give her a
go.
jump rope. The kid can jump rope like you wouldn't believe.
So, the movie almost folded before production began. So, the movie's financed by a company called New Line Cinema, and at the time, New Line Cinema wasn't famous for anything. They had, the guy who owned it, Bob Shea, wanted to do. He wanted to make movies, but he couldn't afford it, so he would he was a copyright lawyer, and so he would license films that he would show at like colleges or prisons or road shows or things like that. And then he got, the script had been floating around for 3 or 4 years before it got picked up by New Line, and another company called Smart Egg Productions were going to put up $1 million for the movie, but they dropped out several days before filming began. So Robert Shea had to raise money elsewhere. 2 weeks into shooting, the production had no money left to pay the crew, so line producer John Burroughs used his credit card. Eventually, Shea brokered a deal with Media Home Entertainment, and subsequently persuaded Smart Egg to put the final $200,000 needed to complete the film.
Can you imagine, Scotty, like as a filmmaker, to get so close and being like, I literally need $2,000
Oh,
more.
here's my nightmare scenario for old school movies.
Yep.
A few days before the film was going to general release, the processing lab that had the negative informed New Line Cinema that it would be keeping the film because it had not been paid.
Oh my God.
Because so the work's done.
Yeah.
The movie's got to go out. And
You don't have the money to
get it. So at last minute, however, Shay was able to negotiate a deal.
What a worst case scenario nightmare kind of thing is like you finish your work, it's edited, it's ready to go, and something happens and the building where your film is being kept catches on fire and it's gone, destroyed completely.
Yeah, that's... Oh, God. Ow.
Can you imagine?
Did you put it on the cloud, though?
Back then it was film.
I know.
There was no cloud.
After the fire would be a cloud.
After the fire, they're like, my goal in life is to create another way to store things that won't be in a building on fire.
That's right. It'll be all digital and we can just put it on the computer. It'd be fine.
Heather Langenkamp's boyfriend at the time of the shooting of the film was credited for creating the Freddie nursery rhyme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a musician. They kind of hammered it out, but
That's
I don't have
cool.
a name for him. Nancy looks into the mirror and says, "My God, I look 20 years old."
She was.
She was actually 20 years old.
I know.
So let's do the bar tab.
Okay.
So
I didn't bring my wallet, Scotty.
yeah, I'll pay for it.
Okay. I need a Red Bull too.
Just put it on my tab up front.
Okay, thank you.
The budget for this movie was $1.8 million.
All right.
Million?
1.8.
$8 million.
Was that before the 2,000 they needed at the end? Because can you imagine the budget being that high and then just needing 2,000 more? That's like a tip.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Well, they're probably at 1.6 and like we need 200,000 more to get the 1.8.
Oh, it was 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was 2,000.
Not 200,000.
Oh my gosh, that's different. I take that back. That's still a lot.
So the total gross from this movie is weird, and I'll just explain that because I know everyone asks where do you think it fell, but there are two numbers for the total gross, and what it is the movie released in November of 1984.
Right.
So you've got November to December, so you got the end of the year money, and then 85 is a new year,
Right.
so they're still in theaters, so they make new money that way.
I get it.
So its total gross overall is 25 million with both years.
So they made bank.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This is why we have a franchise. The total gross of 1984 is 7 million. So
Okay.
I want you to just put that in perspective.
So
Right.
November to the end.
So yeah, so the movie came out November 9th through 11th, 1984. Where do you think it came out in the top 10?
Number 1.
Number 2.
Number 10.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Top 5 movies of 19 of
Oh, this is of the full year?
No, this is
That was for
the
November.
for the
Okay.
weekend. For the weekend,
Oh my goodness, I didn't make a top 5.
the top 5 movies of that weekend. Anybody want to take a gander?
Oh, my Lord Jesus.
For 84?
Ghostbusters.
Let me hit the usual suspects here.
Okay.
No, Ghostbusters is that year, so you're good on that, but not for that weekend.
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
That same year, but not
Not that
the
weekend.
Star Wars.
No, year before.
Some sort of cop movie. Let's do this. Action.
Yes, I will
Okay.
go give you. There's some sort of cop movie in action.
The same or like some sort of cop movie and an action
Yeah,
movie?
they're. It's an action movie with cops in it, but the cops are not the stars.
Interesting. So,
Huh.
Bad Boys. Not Bad Boys. That's obviously newer.
I feel like at some point,
Rocky.
Arnold Schwarzenegger should have been in a movie this year.
Like that would just seem up on that.
Okay. You're getting closer. So here's
I
the
said
hint
Rocky,
for
she
the
said
Okay.
the number 2 movie has cops in it. It is an action film and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay,
Schwarzenegger does not play a cop.
Is it the thing with the shells?
No, that's Demolition Man, and that was in the 90s, and that's not Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
It's
it's
the Transformers.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's the one where he is oh man.
Transformers?
No.
Not Transformers.
No,
No.
but robots are close.
It's the one
Ray Mills. and
No.
they have to go save the son.
It's the one that Ray Don Chong is in, right? No. Okay, never mind. There's cops in it. Is it Alien? No, it's Predator.
Predator's 87.
Okay, so it's before Predator.
Is it the one with that badass chick that just had a new one that came out?
Yes, it is Terminator.
I said Transformers, but that's what I was thinking
Oh my
of.
God, Terminator was in 84. I remember this now.
I'm so proud of myself for getting that.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I think we should do Terminator on this show, by the way.
Terminator's a
I've
great
never
movie.
seen it, so probably.
We should do it on the show.
Let's do Terminator 2.
I hate you.
I love that one though. That one's my
We can do
favorite
them actually.
one.
We can actually do those two both together. That's kind of fun.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Let me know if you've never heard of these films.
How about I let you know if I've heard of any of them?
Ready? Number one is called "Oh God, You Devil."
Oh, I like that one. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's the best.
What is it about?
Isn't that the one with is it George Burns?
Yes.
Yeah. So, isn't he God?
Hey, yes.
Okay,
Isn't he
that's what it's
also a
about.
devil?
Yes, he's also the devil.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah.
On the nose.
Yeah.
So this is the third of the Oh God series.
Yes. Oh God, Book 1. Old God, Book 2.
Oh God, Book 2, which introduces God.
Yeah.
George Burns is the devil. Well, the first one is John Denver in it. I've not seen Oh God, You Devil, but I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
The third one is about a rock star that they're trying to. I think it's the story of Job they're doing.
Okay.
Number 2, of course, we've just mentioned is The Terminator.
Great movie.
You've never seen it, right?
Mm-mm.
What do you think it's about?
Okay, well, in fairness, I've seen pieces of it.
Sure. What do you think it's about?
I mean, essentially, a robot comes and has to I think. Okay, first of all, there's two. There's like the really smooth one, and then there's like the broken down Schwarzenegger.
It's a
but
different
he's
movie.
naked. I remember.
It's a
like,
different
that
movie.
happening. No, it's not.
It's not that movie.
I feel like it is. So
kind of.
There's a mom and a kid, and the mom's running with the kid a lot.
No,
No,
wrong movie.
No, wrong movie.
Wrong
She
movie.
has to protect her kid because,
That's part 2.
That's the second
That's
one.
part
That's the
2.
second one. You've
Okay.
never seen the first one, so all right.
Okay.
Similar plot, but no kid or anything.
There's no kid.
I thought that was the whole point of those whole movies was to kill a specific kid.
There's a first movie.
That's true. That is. So the first movie is that they go to kill the mother before the child is born.
Before the child is
But it's
even
still the
conceived.
kid.
There's no
Still
kid.
the
There's no kid yet. The kid's not
It's all
even
because of the
conceived.
kid.
Yeah, there's no kids. He's
It's
not,
because he's a bad boy in the future.
or a really good boy in the
I don't
future.
know. I don't know what happens. Just not. He did something, and they don't want it to happen.
Right.
And
He
that's
did
That's true.
no. He does good things.
I
I apologize.
we have to add Terminator to the list.
Okay.
We'll do Terminator 2 together. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
The number 3 movie is called No Small Affair.
I've never heard of that one.
I had neither. It's about
Is that of the year or that weekend? Of the year or that weekend?
that weekend.
Okay.
That weekend.
That weekend. The No Small Affair is about a kid, like a teenager, who's a photographer, and he's shooting this young woman trying to get famous.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4 is Places in the Heart.
I've heard it. I've never watched it because I don't watch that crap.
It's such a good movie.
You know I don't watch that crap.
It's got
It sounds emotional.
Sally Field in it. That's where Sally Field got her Oscar. That's where the "You Like Me, You Really Really Like Me" comes from.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Number 5 was A Soldier's Story.
Never saw that.
That's about a racial crime that happens during World War II, and it's got Denzel Washington, but like a little baby Denzel
I was
Washington.
gonna say he had to have been like.
A little baby Denzel.
I didn't
in that.
even know he was acting back then.
He was. He was on. I think that was right after he was on St. Elsewhere.
All right.
So here's the funny thing, and for the people listening at home, when we start the Patreon account in January, I think it's first of the year is when I'm looking to do it. You'll get to hear our Firestarter episode. Firestarter also happened in 1984.
That's awesome.
So we had just recorded that. So I'm fixing to ask this question that I know my two co-hosts will not answer.
I won't know it. I just won't.
We just did this, and I think this is hilarious. So can you name the top films of 1984?
Terminator.
No.
I'm gonna go through the usual suspects.
Terminator was a top 10 though.
The Goonies.
Yes, Indiana.
Goonies did come up.
Goonies was not top 10. Top 5. Indiana Jones number 2 in the Temple of Doom. So I'll give you that one.
Okay.
We have done another one of these movies. I said this last time. We've done another one of these movies on the podcast.
Yeah, and I figured it out, and I can't think of it right now.
Highlander.
It's a
No, it wasn't Highlander.
Highlander's
It was the one I
ladies.
was surprised you didn't know. What, Karate Kid? Was that on
Karate Kid.
Because we talked about Cobra
Karate
Kai.
Kid. Yeah, Karate Kid's on
Oh
that.
my gosh, I'm doing so well
There
right
you
now.
go. You're doing
Everybody should be
good.
proud of me.
I am proud of you.
Oh, a Star Trek movie.
Nope.
No. It was one that you really liked.
And one that I really liked.
I think.
Probably.
Or are you gonna get
Yeah,
that
she
confused
did
with
say she'd enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, mother cracker.
I love both of you.
Okay, all right.
Do you want hints or do you just
Yes,
want
I need a hint.
Don't
Just a
tell
hint.
us.
I just want a hint.
Scotty.
One hint.
Mahoney.
No, I'm out. I feel like I should know.
No, wait.
but
Mahoney.
That's not a hint from me, Scotty.
Give me another
the
hint.
same hint that you did last time. Because last time I
Give
got
me
it.
give me one of the actors. It doesn't have to be the main one. No,
Scotty, that's a terrible hint. That's not going to help me at all.
Give me an actor.
Michael Winslow.
I just said no, Scotty. I don't even know who that is.
Okay, so
Neither does she.
You said Michael and I thought of Bay.
Michael
I don't even know what he's
Winslow.
made.
He's the dude on the TV show with Urkel, right?
Why are we erasing the movies we've
No,
done and not just
that's
crossing
his
them
character named Carl Winslow. I love this game just because that's a weird reach.
off? Okay.
Mahoney.
I will say you're right on one thing. He is a black dude.
Is it the movie where they talked to each other a lot? No, it's
Lethal
Highlander.
Weapon.
No.
Okay,
didn't do
we
Lethal
didn't, but I like that
Weapon.
movie. Well, he's a
haven't
black
seen that.
dude. Hold on.
That's Danny Glover.
Oh wait, Beverly Hills Cop.
We haven't
No,
done that.
no.
Okay, we haven't done that.
No, we haven't done this.
This is the fun game. You guys see me going, I haven't seen that.
We haven't done the one she's trying to guess though.
Okay.
I thought we did do that one.
No,
Okay.
we've done one on the list, but we haven't done
Okay,
that one.
just give me a good hint.
Steve Guttenberg.
Again, means nothing to me.
Okay, so
Good Burger.
hold on. No, it's not Good Burger.
Welcome to Guttenberg.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Steve
Come on,
Guttenberg
this is
and
terrible.
Winslow. Guttenberg. Golly, I've got
They
his
did
face.
4 movies together.
Okay, I know.
Is
Hold on.
The sequel? Because that's awful. Which
It's
one did I
not the
watch
Lethal
third of?
Weapons. It's not Beverly Hills Cop. It's
Well, we said Indiana Jones. You said it was the second. We already did that one.
Jesus Christ.
You're in the
Superstar.
right area, though.
I know.
will
It's
give you
like
credit.
that. Yeah, I know because I can see it. I just give up.
Rocky.
Police Academy.
God dog it. Yes.
I would've
I
never got
love
that.
those movies.
Our audience is screaming at
I
their,
know.
at their
They go, "Please go."
phones or whatever they're listening to, the
Okay,
car or
first of
their
all,
headphones.
Part of your audience is like, I'm with her. Like, I don't even know who these people
No,
are.
no, those
Thanks,
movies
friend.
were so good. I love the little black chick that had the squeaky voice.
Yeah.
I loved her.
So which one have we seen?
We haven't seen any of those.
Oh, here's one you have seen. I will get. You want hints?
Yeah.
Christmas movie.
Was it
Oh, that's the Gremlins.
Gremlins.
I knew that.
And that was number 3. The number 1 movie of 1984.
All right.
Would you like to guess?
No, I'm over it.
1984 was
I will say it's a comedy.
Twins. I don't know.
Schwarzenegger's not in that
Yeah,
one.
no. A comedy. Witches of Eastwick.
Also, much later.
I know. I'm
87, I
trying to
think. Trying to think some hints. It has SNL alum in it. It has
84.
Rick Moranis is in it. He was recently punched.
Oh yeah, was it? It was Ghostbusters.
It was Ghostbusters,
There you
correct? Ghostbusters, 1984, biggest movie of the
Rick
year.
Moranis has not done a lot of
We need
movies,
to
so I had to
remember-
think of what was
listen, Okay, listen. 84. We've got
Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom.
Gremlins,
Yeah,
Police Academy,
yeah. Terminator.
Terminator somewhere.
We're gonna remember all these.
So I will say, in the history of this podcast, and we're a little over a year old now, we have done 1984 4 times.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
over 1984.
they had good movies in '84. Apparently,
There was good movies in 84.
You know, also we should wish the Mopcast Network a happy birthday.
we
Sure.
can do that at the end of this. I want to
Okay.
finish. I want to
We
finish
could do
this
another
up.
shot.
All right. So you
Not
ready?
in that job.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Yes.
Can you name the other? Can you name the other 3 movies we've done in '84? One of them we named just a minute ago.
Gremlins.
Right.
Gremlins.
Which was number 3.
Okay. And we did one more that was an '84
Was
movie.
there one with a little girl?
Yes.
Was it Child's Play?
Firestarter.
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 Firestarter. We just talked about that.
I
Yeah.
like how you went. It's one with the little girl. You went and then went Child's Play.
Because I said that, and I said Child's Play. I was like, that's a little boy.
That's
The little girl was Pet Cemetery.
There was a little boy in Pet Cemetery too.
Yeah, but he dies. And then, they bring him
And then he
back, and
comes
he's
back
creepy.
and he
So
is
it's his
creepy.
sister.
I want to play with you.
No. I'm
So-
working on my crochet. Go away.
So, one more film
Okay.
That we've done.
in '84.
One more that we've done?
We have done
Wait,
one more.
hold on. We've done Gremlins, Firestarter, and then...
Child's Play?
No.
No. I just guessed it. Ooh, we just said it out loud.
Gremlins, Firestarter.
We've not said this one today, I don't think.
Gremlins, Fire... What else did we do?
Has a great song that goes with it.
That means nothing to me.
Steph
Hold
and I
on.
saw this in the theaters together.
Oh, the never-ending story.
It's kind of our jam.
Story.
So, all right.
I'm glad that you knew that.
In
From
the-
that I was like,
In the top 100, where does A Nightmare on Elm Street fall in the year 1984?
I'm going to say low because...
84 for when it was originally came out in November. 99.
78.
99 on the dot.
Look at you. Okay, you get a shot of Sambuca.
No, I quit that.
Look at you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you.
There you go.
I would like to thank my guessing skills that I've utilized for the last year.
Very good.
I think honestly, I think that's the first time we've got like on the money. I thought that was great. Gremlins was number 3, Neverending Story number 45, Firestarter was 55.
Nice.
Amadeus, I pointed out.
Oh, God. I love that movie.
Amadeus was that came out that year, won the Oscar, but it was also 56.
Amadeus is one of my best favorite movies
It's one of my
ever.
favorite movies too. It's beautiful.
It's a good
that's
song.
You don't know? You've never seen the movie?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's so good. So good.
Amadeus is one of the reasons why I got into theater and film and stuff.
Interesting.
As a
See
small
that?
kid.
Pass me
Makes
your
me
cup.
want
I'm going to
to.
give you a vodka shot so we can toast the Mopcast.
Yeah, Mopcast Network. Mopcast Network is 6 years old now. As of this recording, so we're recording on the 10th. Yesterday's the 9th. It's the official birthday. It's the first episode, the first podcast the Mopcast
Awesome.
Network put out.
Would you like a shot of one of these fine liquors I brought?
I'm good.
Okay, we're going to toast it.
Don't blame you.
I'm going to have this lovely Sambuca, which I have discovered is probably now my favorite liquor. It's also very thick.
Okay. It's thick with licorice. It's not my favorite. What I'm saying right now.
All right. Happy birthday, Mop.
Happy birthday.
Mop.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers. Air cheers.
Social distancing. Cheers.
God, dog it. That's good. That was vodka.
I know it's so hard to shoot when it's warm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had
No,
ice. I didn't even
It's
think.
fine. It's already down.
I have leftover Jaeger and
not
stuff in
down.
here. You don't want me to
It's
mix
not
it.
down all the way. I
You
can
want a
feel
piece
it.
of ice to chew on?
Yes.
One day you'll be able to drink like me.
I don't know if I'm going to be proud or not of that.
So before we go, I do want to talk about this because Steph and I, before Justin got here, we started talking about this movie on how we felt about it.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So
Oh, yes.
I typically go into these films already liking the movie because it's my podcast. I pick the movies majority, and then usually there's something I know, something I like. I chose it because it's October, right? It's Halloween time. Let's pick.
Right.
And this is a cult classic film. This movie, it didn't create the genre, but it refined it in such a way that, it's got like 10 sequels, and it's this monster franchise. I watched this one and I didn't like it.
It's not that I can't. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed watching it again. I watched it with my husband. I remember the first time I watched it when it came out, I was terrified. It was scary to me. I mean, I was terrified of Freddy Krueger. I had a hard time looking at him because he was so scary.
Is it because he's only on there for 7 minutes?
I don't know. No, he's just scary. It was. Watching it again, I giggled all the way through this movie. I thought it was hilarious. And then I kept thinking, where's the scary parts? Because to me, it wasn't scary at all. And it was almost comical in parts, like when Nancy was doing her Home Alone bit, that was hilarious.
Yeah, I got a text from her. I guess when she was watching, I was like, Nancy doing it better than Kevin from Home Alone.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, yeah, different experience altogether. Of course, it takes a lot to scare me these days because I grew up watching horror movies.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I'm so desensitized to horror that it takes. There's only one genre of horror that still frightens me, and that's like possession movies, because I'm Catholic and that shit's real.
She got that guilt.
I do have that Catholic guilt, so I'm like, I'm not a good Catholic either, which means I'm open to possession.
So, for me, it was similar. Look, I'm a grown ass man, so I don't get scared as easily. So I wasn't expecting to be scared, but I'm trying to look at this movie objectively, as a critic or as a reviewer, like we're doing, and I'm looking for moments where I thought would be scary, and I couldn't find them. Like people talk about like Freddy coming down the walkway with the giant arms.
Right.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I know. It's so fake looking, like googly arms.
It's not
or
even
something.
like it's fake. It's just a dumb concept. It's like, I'm just going to give you a big scary hug. And so I didn't quite get that.
It's like, ooh.
However, that being said, I think my favorite parts of this film that are unappreciated, or honestly, is everything that happens after Tina's dead and Rod's in jail, and Nancy goes to school and falls asleep, and she runs into the hallway, and where's your hall pass? But the stuff with like Tina in the body bag, that's just, it's that long shot of her. It's way back, and it's covered in blood, and then it does the, she picks her legs up and whatever, lifts her legs
That
up,
part was freaky.
and drags her off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, and that really. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm creeped out by that. But
there's some good stuff that is
there's
good
some
and
good stuff in
creepy.
it, but overall, it gets damn silly.
It gets silly, and I think it's also the reactions from like Nancy, who's she's just not really fazed with the death of everybody.
She's just like, she's like,
it was just like, this is your first kind of round with Freddy, and you should be a lot more terrified. And it's like, and I think that watching her and that she was not that scared made me not that scared. So maybe she should have been more scared. I don't know. Also, have you guys seen the movie Something About Mary?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
No.
So there's a lady in it, an older lady who is orange because she's this dark orange because she tans too much, like on purpose. So Nancy's mom looked like the younger version of that.
Something About Mary has Carmen Diaz in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have seen that.
Okay, so the
she's, like,
lady
dates
that
this
she's
guy
staying
or
with.
something, and
The
she's like,
lady she's staying with. That's super. Okay, did you guys not notice the extreme fake and bake tan that Nancy's mom had? It was awful. That's all I could think about was like, oh my God, she's the younger version of the chick from Something About Mary. It was like,
so. Also, how crazy is it that she's like, okay, all right, so you got the old hat. Let me show you something else. I have the murderer's weapon in my house.
that's it. I've kept his weapon.
I'm going to tell you the story, and like but you're good because I got his knives. And I'm like, oh, you're just going to just give him his weapon.
Also, she's a grown ass woman. You do not have to hide your vodka in the linen closet. You can drink that vodka anywhere you want to go. You're of age.
I thought it was Malibu rum.
Whatever it was, whatever
Whatever
liquor you have. Listen, woman, you do not need to hide it in your linen closet. You're a grown ass woman.
So what do you think, Justina? This is your first time with it, really. I mean, you knew.
I don't know for sure if I've seen this one.
Right.
Like, I know that I have seen them, but I didn't recognize a lot that happened in this one.
Right.
So I watched scary movies like this.
Yeah, no,
the camera's not here.
Because I'm curious. Yeah,
I always cover one eye completely. It's always my left eye, and then my right eye. I always look at the bottom right corner of the screen because usually that one's free of horror. And then if you look at the
Are you seriously covering your eyes for this?
Oh,
I'm not done with my.
I've watched scary movies with her.
So I'll say, and I know enough about films from school and experience to know when it's coming. Like to know when anything's coming, a jump or some sort of subtle something, or so I'll go like this, and I'll look over, and Derby's wife is usually sitting there, and I'm like, it's coming, and so I'll watch the bottom corner of the screen until it's safe to move my eyes, to move my hand. so my eyes can see again. And there were a lot of times in this film
Adorable.
where you could tell it was coming. Where I would go and sit for a second, and then I found myself visoring because it didn't come. So I do agree with what you guys say. You get that sense of fear, but it's not there. I do understand when its arms were out and the sense of you have nowhere to go because I'm taking all of the space. There's nowhere for you to leave, but it just looked silly. But then again, when that came up, Derby Wife was that thing right there haunted me when I was a kid. She wasn't scared about it now. But
Right.
Yeah.
So I can understand too. In the time, we are very spoiled at this point of our horror films and what we see as horror now. So going back and watching it, it does just look silly. But at the time, you can be like, "Oh my gosh, she has no wall to get past him. He's taking up the entire space." And his arms can get bigger and look ridiculous. What else can he do?
So what modern-ish, I'm going to say modern-ish, what type of horror films now scare you?
I just watched one.
Okay.
So we opened up because I'm in the middle of crocheting. I have my crojos back. I crochet the best during horror films.
What's a crojo?
That's
Your
it's like a
mojo.
mojo. It's like our
Oh,
mojo
I'm
for
sorry.
crochet.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
for
didn't
crochet.
know. I'm like, what's a
I'm in
crojo?
crochet groups. We call it crojo. It's fine.
It's like,
I need to know.
I thought it was like a machine or something.
But I think I hit a point where I was having to crochet so much because I was getting caught up on baby blankets that I just put it to the side.
Yeah.
So lately I'm like, oh, I want to crochet. So I was like, find a scary movie and then I can crochet. And it was a new release on maybe Hulu. It's the Book of Blood.
Okay, I mean, I haven't heard of it.
It's it just got released. I'm pretty sure it was Hulu. But it's essentially 3 disconnected stories, but they all tie together.
Yeah.
But that one got me a couple times, and it wasn't even that it was really bad, but it was good enough that I get scared pretty easy. But I'm also terrified of the dark. So that's when I hide usually, is when things get dark. Because you can't see, I don't want it to, because it's going to get dark, and then it's just going to be like a person coming at you at the screen. I'm going to jump. I'm a jumper. And then I don't like to jump because I feel idiotic, and it upsets me, and I get angry with myself, and my whole body hurts from jumping because I jump everywhere, every piece of me. I'm a big, intense jumper.
But that's what you're supposed to do for horror films.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like,
you're supposed to have that.
Oh, I heard it. Okay, we're good again.
So what about you?
Oh, it's been a while that I felt discomfort.
Every movie I watch is scary. Oh my gosh, that's weird.
I will say, I'm a fan of some of the found footage stuff.
Those are good.
Because, I remember being terrified in the theater watching Paranormal Activity.
Right.
And there's nothing that happens in that movie. But it's just the tension about it. And it's
they keep the suspense up the whole time.
It's racked to 11. And what I like about it is, especially in the first one, the first one's got the, she's in bed and she's just pulled out of bed. There's no monster. She's just pulled out of bed. And you see it in the camera that she's just pulled out of bed. Something pulls her. And that's terrifying. But in
I think that's a pretty common fear, too. Hanging a foot off the bed
right,
or something.
something grab you.
Pull me off of the bed.
And so, I love everyone seen the third one?
I haven't seen any of them.
So
I've seen all of those.
So
actually.
the third one happens in the 80s, which is really great. And so the guys, the family's having this weird experience, and so they're trying to document it. And so they're doing old school VHS cameras, and the dad dismantles an oscillating fan. So just the base of it oscillates,
right,
and puts a camera on it.
There's some really good gimmicks on that one.
And so
that's cool.
Spoiler for everybody, but here's because it's my favorite gimmick. It's one of my favorite gimmicks in all horror. So the camera's going and it's doing this pan. It's just
continuous,
just like a
back and forth like a fan.
Just a fan, and at that speed, and it's a babysitter or the one I can't remember who's there, but I think it's a babysitter.
So she leaves and she's like, I'm gonna leave.
And behind her is what you think would be a child playing ghost in a sheet.
Right.
So
it looks like cute innocence.
Right. And so it slowly walks behind her, and so the fans go, and then the fan would see it and then move away from it because it's
right,
and then it would get closer and closer, and then the very last shot it comes out, it just disappears. The body holding up vanishes into the sheet.
Cool.
It's standing in the kitchen and she's at the sink. and it's like right behind her, and then you come back and it was like it poofs to the ground and she turns around and there's a sheet there.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's pretty awesome.
Subtle and like so innocent. I think that's why it's so creepy. Is it's so innocent.
So for me, it in order for it to make me scared, it has to be something that in my mind could actually happen, like be realistic. So, like possession, but even more so like any of the like kidnapping movies, like Hostage or Saw, the Saw series, or the Hostage movies, which are very graphically gory anyway, but they're psychological, like and those kind of movies, because I did backpack in Europe, so I also. I mean, I'll walk a lot by myself downtown. I do, those kind of movies creep me out because, I mean, that could happen. I mean, there could be some sickos out there doing weird.
So it's going to be Freddy.
Well, I mean, I would certainly put up a fight. I do carry, so I will not hesitate to shoot a motherfucker. I'm just saying.
So our next film is going to be A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, The Dream Warriors.
Awesome.
We'll listen to the trailer now.
It's 1987. Do you know where Freddy is? There's no waking up from this nightmare. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 3, Dream Warriors.
So, Justina.
Yeah.
What do you think this movie's about?
Oh, I definitely think this one's about them going into the dream to attack him. Like, they're very proactive. Again, I have seen pieces of I have seen these when I was a kid. Some of them. I have no idea how many there are. I have no idea which ones I've seen. It wasn't this one. So if I had to guess, I feel like it would be them finally getting together and being like, you know what? I'm tired of this bull crap. We're going to go take care of this MFer in his dreamland. And then they go up in there.
I think there are 9. So there's...
Oh my gosh.
Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, 5, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which is 6. 7, A New Nightmare.
The Final Nightmare. That's cute.
7, New Nightmare, which Wes Craven comes back for. He doesn't do the rest of them. And that one's set in modern times in the modern world. Freddy's becoming real. It's crazy. And Heather Langenkamp comes back for that one.
And that's Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy.
Okay.
Then there is Freddy vs. Jason. And then there was a remake in 2010. So that's 9.
There was a remake of the original.
Yeah.
Because when I grabbed them off the shelf, I had to figure out which one it was that I was watching. Josh has both of those.
Yeah. So
I watched the correct one.
You could have just asked him.
I did. I held it up the stairs and I went, which one? This one? This one? That's the remake. I said, this one? I need to watch this one? Okay, cool.
So that's what we're going to watch. The other film we're going to be watching, if you guys want to come see us this weekend at Horror Graw, we're going to be watching Phantasm 2 and talking about it. We're going to be talking about it. We're not going to show it. I'll show clips, but
it'll be
it's about
awesome.
basketball, so I hope you guys are ready for that. So, they're not always exciting.
I have to ask you, what makes you think
Phantasm sounds like a basketball movie? It just does.
Well, I don't understand that. Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's Shazam. Maybe I'm thinking of Shazam.
Shazam is not basketball.
Doesn't he play basketball?
No.
Isn't he in that movie where it's like
Shaquille O'Neal is?
Darn it! Shazam's the genie in a bottle.
Kazam.
Right?
Kazam.
There it is.
Shazam is a superhero. Yes, he is.
So anyway, it's about basketball. I'll see you all on Saturday.
All right.
So this is Scotty saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Mobcast Network.